Okay, so today in class we worked on the 6.8 practice day one because we have a quiz the next time we meet. And so here we go. It starts out with a pizza task. It says create a dot plot to represent the data. Um, I look and the lowest number is a zero, the biggest number is a three, and so I would have just done a little dot plot like this with a zero, one, two, and three, and I try to make the numbers evenly spaced. And then along the bottom, I would have written number of toppings. I would have written number of toppings. And because we're just talking about toppings, it's not in percents or dollars or anything like that. It's just in the number. And so I look, and I've got one person had zero toppings. I guess that's just cheese pizza. And then one, two, three, four, five, six people had one topping. And you try to keep your, I know you can't see this, but try to keep your horizontal lines consistent. So one, two, three, four, five, six. When I get to twos, I've got three, and I'm going to try to get those to match the number one, but it's by hand. I'm not going to get too picky. If it was a computer, I would definitely care. And then there's two threes. And so that's what it's going to look like. Now, I really like this. I wouldn't have extra numbers. Like, I don't need a four, five, or six. And that's what it shows in your workbook. I'll show that in the next slide. What is the mean number? Well, six, there's zero. Okay. And then there's six ones, there's three twos, and then there's two threes. And all of those add up to six. So I'm going to get a total of 18. And then it tells me that there's 12 customers, but if I didn't believe them, I could totally count. I get 18 divided by 12, which is 1.5. It's 1 and 6/12, one and a half, all of that. Now describe the data, including the center. So the center is looking at, so the center is at 1.5, the mean. And so if I look right here, there's more numbers shifted to the left. So this is, I mean, you won't need this until later in math, but it's skewed right. But if you wanted to describe like as a mountain or something that peaks at one, like that's totally okay if you're describing the shape. You're just, when it says describe, I can't underline that for some reason. When it says describe, you're just describing what you think you see. And so however you want to describe that shape, that's your description of it. Now, here in the workbook, they give you a 4, 5, and 6, and we didn't need those. Again, there was one dot at 0, there was 6 dots at 1, 3 dots at 2, and 2 dots at 3. I didn't need the whole rest of that number line. I could have put an arrow right there. Boom, done. And they did label it number of toppings. The mean was again 1.5. It was 18 divided by 12, which is 1 and 6/12, which is 1.5, which is again 1.5. And then however you want to describe that shape, mountain at peak at 1, something like that. Then we look at a histogram. Now, the bad part about the easy part, the cool part, is that you list all 50 states right here. There's 26 states right here. There's 14 states. There are 6 states, 2 states, 1 state, 1 state. That's 50 states. And so you get the whole thing in just one nice little graph. You don't have to put 50 dots. And then it says that we've got to look at whether it's true, false, or doesn't have enough information to determine. So it says 4 states have a population of 20 million people or more. So here's the cutoff for 20, and sure enough, there are definitely 4. This is a true statement. This shows a population for 6 different states. Oh, I just said there are 50 different states, if I have to make that correct, but 6 different states is totally wrong. The largest population is 40 million people. We know that it's between 35 and 40. We just don't know where. It's not specific enough. It's not that it doesn't have enough information, but it's just the way the histogram is. You don't know. It's somewhere in here. So I'm gonna say that one's false. But this shows that the state with the largest population is California. And there's no state names. And so I would call this one false. I would call it false. But the computer AI overlords, they say that it doesn't have enough information. Well, duh, there's no state names. So, but again, I would call that one false. So when you're looking at a histogram, you can see what's bigger or smaller than a certain number, but you can't see an individual anything. You can't see an individual state because you don't know where, there's no states labeled. And so in your workbook, it looked like this. And so I had true, false, false, and then I put false on this one and it marked it wrong. It said that not enough information was the correct answer. But I think it's wrong because it doesn't show that California, it doesn't show California anywhere. And we're from California. So, okay. So the dot plots from the school soccer team, really, the school soccer team. And so it says calculate the mean of the first 5 games and the mean of the last 5 games. You just add them all up. So I've got 1, 2, then 4, 6, 10. I've got 10 divided by 5 is 2. I look at this one, 0, 0, 1. Plus 3 is 4, plus 6 is 10. Divided by 5 is 2. The mean in both of these is 2. And then it says the MAD for the last 5 games is 2 goals. And so I'm going to double check that because if here's the mean, remember MAD is how far is it? So this one's 2 away, this one's 2 away, this one's 1 away, this one's 1 away, and this one's 4 away. 4 away. And so I've got 5. If I add up all these, I get 5. Add up these, I get 5. That's 10 total. And sure enough, 10 divided by 5 is 2. So what's the MAD of this? Is without calculation, without actually calculating the MAD, is the first game less than that? Well, if the mean is 2, and this one's 1 away, and this one's only 2 away, it's much more compact. It ends up being a lot smaller. And so then so right away, I know it's less than. It's going to be less than. It's going to be less than 2 goals. Explain my thinking. Well, only 1 point is 2 away. 2 points are 1 away, and 2 points are 0 away. And so it's going to be much smaller. So I add that up. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. And remember, there are 5 dots. Those zeros matter. And so the MAD in this case is 0.8, or 4/5 is perfectly fine for me. During which set of games, the first 5 or last 5 was the more consistent? The first one. It says the second set, the MAD is 2. In the first set, the MAD is 0.8. They're way more consistent at the beginning. Maybe they got tired. Maybe they played, I don't know, different better teams or worse teams. It doesn't matter. But the last 5 games were definitely more spread out. The first 5 are much more consistent. And then it gets to where you need to create your own dot plot. Now, kind of a cheat. If they wanted the mean of 3, I know the mean needs to be here. It means that I'm going to center that, but at least 8 data points, and with a large spread. So I could put a dot at 2, a dot at 4. Those are going to average to be 3. I could put a dot at 1 and a dot at 5. Those are going to be averaged to be 3. I could put a dot at 0 and a dot at 6, and those are going to average to be 3. So I've got 6. I need 2 more. Again, I want a large spread, so I'm going to put these at 0 and 6 again. And so now I have 8 dots, and it averages to be 3. If I want a small spread with 8 dots, technically you could put all 8 dots right above the 5, and that would be correct. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I even put a 9th dot. But then in the computer system, a lot of times they'll mark that one wrong. So let's show you a different solution. So 8 data points, a mean of about 5, but a very small spread. I could put a dot at 5, Since we have 8 data points, I'm going to put 2 dots at 5. They'll average to be 5. I'm going to put 1 at 4, 1 at 6. Another one at 4, another one at 6. Like you're wanting it to be really tight packed. 3 and 7, it's starting to get spread out. But those are going to be averaged. And when I look at this, it's going to have a pretty small, consistent view. If I did like this and that, I'm getting 8 that are centered around the 5. Describe, both of mine are symmetric. They're balanced on both sides. That's how I tend to do these. This one looks like a mountain with a peak at 5. This one is not, it's more flat. And so however you want to describe those in words, yeah, but that's it. The quiz tomorrow or the quiz the next class day, will be pretty much just like this. You're going to have to make dot plots. You're going to be asked to make dot plots. You're going to be asked what the dot plot means. You're going to be asked to look at a histogram and determine what's there. And then you're going to be asked to actually find the mad and the mean of stuff, and then you're going to be asked to actually make a dot plot just like these. So if you do it in class, you should know how to do it on the quiz. That's it for today. I hope to see you in the next video.